Good afternoon and welcome back to the Nine Eye Bowling Club in Lower Hutt as we get ready for the Bowls3Five Interclub Cup final between Stokes Valley and Papakura. This competition for bowlers who are juniors, so 1 to 5 years of experience in Stokes Valley and Papakura. And we've got the better of West End and Horswell, teams from Taranaki and Canterbury, to get here to the Interclub Cup final to decide who are the best junior bowlers in the country. I'm Brenton Vanessa-Roy. I will have the call for you this afternoon alongside Kevin Hickland. And Kevin, there are some familiar faces that were emerged as well from this junior competition.
Certainly have done, Brenton, and the Stokes Valley side represented by the Bryan family, with Cherie leading, her husband John at 2, and Stephen skipping. And of course, they in the national scene, the two boys in the side. 2 years ago, they were in the quarter-finalists of the Somerset National Fours here in Wellington, and earlier on this year in Tauranga, they were beaten semi-finalists in Tauranga. And then, of course, we've got Leanne Paulson skipping the Papakura side. Leanne Paulson, of course, winner of the New Zealand Open Singles held in Auckland a couple of years back, and also part of the side that won the Australian Open Women's Fours. So, very, very good player. So, and the Wellington side are all part of the Wellington representative squad. So, the best, I think, on display. And I've been told that the lead for Papakura, Adam Bailey, has been very, very impressive right throughout. So, well, this is a big event for the 1 to 5 players, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of these players as well as the years go by, as we watch now the number 2 for the Papakura side, Lee Warburton. A big day for the counties here, isn't it? The Manurewa side winning their way through to the televised Bowls3Five event, and now Papakura into the final of the 1 to 5. That's a fantastic event, a fantastic achievement for the small counties centre. Well done to them.
Yeah, it certainly is. If you have just joined us and you missed out what happened in the Interclub Open Bowls3Five, they went the way of Elmwood Park in the final, winning all 3 matches against Manurewa. But because Elmwood Park are already part of Bowls3Five on Sky Sport this year, Manurewa have clinched that 8th and final berth in the competition. So a big congratulations to Manurewa, a small club out of the county's Manukau region, another team out of counties. Papakura looking to upset the local favourites here, because you would have noticed there's a good loud crowd in attendance supporting Stokes Valley from just some 10 kilometres up State Highway 2 in Lower Hutt here. And they are certainly the hometown favourites for this contest.
Big contingent of Stokes Valley people here for sure, as we watch the number 2, John Bryan, trying to add to the count. It's a good bowl played by the number 2 for the Stokes Valley side. Of course, Stokes Valley got some very, very good players there. Blake Signal, of course, is a Stokes Valley player. Seamus Curtin. We've now got Caleb Hope, who plays out of Stokes Valley. Mike Carroll. So, very, very strong side. They've done a wonderful job in Stokes Valley, because it won the Bowls New Zealand Club of the Year last year. So, certainly a very, very strong club. Done a wonderful job here in the region, and duly rewarded with the junior side making it through to this final, as we watch now Leanne Paulson, the Papakura skip, on her backhand.
Yeah, already part of the New Zealand development side. So a player of some promise, already identified by Bowls New Zealand selectors.
Just going to run short of weight.
Yeah, playing this full length end while the mat's been brought all the way up. The jack just 2 metres from the ditch. Playing on the TV rink here for our finals. Same rink that we had the Bowls3Five Open Club final.
Stephen Bryant just going to run into the front bowls. He was holding the Cherie Bryan bowl, originally from New Plymouth. Well, this is the Bryan family. Mum and Dad moved down here, and of course now the sons and daughter are all active in bowls. The mother plays in the wire wrapper, Irene, who I know is just recovering from eye surgery and is sitting at home with her husband Mike watching this. As you watch this bowl of Leanne Paulson, there's a good bowl here from the Papakura skip, and will make shot of it. Draws Jack level. Well played by Leanne Paulson.
Good support for Papakura as well, which is good to see, no doubt. The Manurewa players who have just been involved in the Open Interclub final, staying on to support their counties Manukau neighbours.
Just wide on the line, had the weight to reach the bowl. Well played there by Leanne Paulson.
Papakura first on the board in the Bowls3Five Interclub Cup final, 1-0. They lead Stokes Valley after the first end of 5, opening set. So just like they did for the first end, they will dictate the length. And Adam Bailey off the front, who's been impressing observers throughout. Let's see, a deaf player, so certainly won't be fazed by the loud support for Stokes Valley here. And that's a great first up bowl from Adam Bailey.
Certainly won't be, and he's full length here and is drawn right in front of the jack, as we see now. Cherie Bryan following up the Papakura, the Adam Bailey bowl. Looks as though it's going to be on the short side, and it is. And got big raps on this young fella. On the backhand he'll play. Very smooth delivery on his backhand. Looks to be on a good line again. It gets past the front. Just going to have a bit too much weight. Got a feather off the bowl, but they'll be happy with that because it's over the head. Nothing wrong with that bowl.
Oh, it was a great line, wasn't it? As you said, just too much weight, but it's found a happy home. Won't be disappointed with that.
Cherie Bryan looked light out of her hand.
Looked narrow as well.
Yeah, that always looked like that. Is that left?
Yeah, bowled it. Forget about for Cherie Bryan. She'll turn her focus to end number 3. There's Lee Warburton now. Playing on the forehand side, looking to add to the count for Papakura. And that one has got too much on it. As Leanne Paulson collects that before it goes into the ditch. It's out of play.
And of course the Bryan boys have been fantastic supporters of the game. Their company, in fact, was the initial sponsor of the Wellington side in the BC and the Australian tournament. The big tournament they play in Australia. Front toucher there drawn by John Bryan. So they're fantastic supporters, along with Mike Carroll for the region. It's great to see these people with their businesses and other things although they play in the sport, more than happy to put something back into the sport. And the Bryan boys certainly do that. As we watch Lee Warburton playing up to the shot bowl, just going to go by. Is it going to stay up? It'll stay up right underneath the number. So here's John Bryan again. Played a superb bowl with his first. Looks to be on a good line again with this second bowl. Breaking in towards the head now. This will get some applause. It's well played by the Stokes Valley combination. Just the one.
Well, needed with those bowls from John Bryan after his wife Cherie. 2 wayward first up bowls off the front for Stokes Valley. And he's grabbed the shot back. A nice cover bowl as well. So now it's up to the skips. Leanne Paulson and Stephen Bryan.
So Leanne Paulson will play up, trying to get to the shot bowl. Playing on her backhand. Very deliberate play up as Leanne Paulson playing on her backhand, trying to get to the shot bowl. Looks as though it's going to be narrow and under the line, and it is. Sits on what was the third shot. So I'll see whether Stephen Bryan can add to the count of his brother.
Yes, and around the inner ring. That'll be enough for second. Just a decent weight.
Gets underneath it. That's a magnificent bowl by the Stephen Bryan, the skip for Stokes Valley. Draws alongside it. That's 2. Clearly, Lee Warburton's is 2 down. So on the backhand, we'll see. Now, Leanne Paulson again needs to adjust her line. had fairly good weight to reach the target. Here she is on her backhand, trying to reach up to the head. It's under that line, going to go, it gets the shot, bowl onto the jack.
Very unfortunate not to grab the shot back. Stokes Valley now holding 1.
That was well played there by Leanne Paulson. There wasn't a lot of room to come through those counting bowls, so we'll see Stephen Bryan now on his forehand, trying to add to the count, holding 1. Breaking in towards the head now, has the weight. Is it going to get all the way past to the... But no, it's not.
So it'll be 1 to Stokes Valley. So 2 ends played. And Stokes Valley 1, Papakura 1. First set, of course, of 2. This Bowls3Five Interclub Cup final. I must mention as well, unlike the Interclub Open, which we've seen throughout the weekend, just 3 players aside, so just 1 triple. There's not 3 triples playing at once, just the 1. So whatever happens on this rink here will decide the title.
So, Cherie Bryant, about a metre a bit short. And we saw, as Brendan said, Adam Bailey played a couple of great bowls so far. This young lead for the Papakura side. Breaking in towards the head now. He's on a good bowl again. He's going to sit just virtually jack level, just under jack level. Very good opening bowl. Cherie Bryant on her backhand. Trying to get past her own bowl. And even if she doesn't get the shot but goes by, they'll be more than happy with that. And it's over the head. Adam Bailey on his forehand. Played a good opening bowl. Looks to be on a good line again. How far is it going to come back towards the jack? It's going to fall short, but John Bryan.
He's come up with some big bowls in the opening 2 ends as John Bryan. These burnt orange bowls. And looks on another good line here. In fact, he gets a toucher on the jack and takes it back towards one of the Cherie Bryant bowls. So now holding a couple. Stokes Valley. He changes the head again.
He's played some big bowls. Well, both in the last 2 ends, certainly he's played some changing bowls, changed the heads. Lee Warburton now trying to follow the same line. Sits on one of the counting bowls. Sits on the John Bryan bowl. Still 1 to Stokes Valley as we play end 3 of 5 in this first set.
Still no sign of a first set power play. I doubt we're going to see it in the junior competition here, the Interclub Cup. Who knows?
I see there that we've got a manager sitting down there. See Mike Carroll sitting there under the by the Bowls New Zealand sign there. Keeping a close eye on his club members, and has done a lot, played a lot with these 2 young fellas. So Lee Warburton now trying to get contact to the, going to go by. So again, it's 2 sets of 5 ends. And if, of course, it's a set all, we go to the 1 end tie break, which we saw in the televised final between Manurewa and the Elmwood Park side, Gary Lawson and David Clark. We saw that go to the tie break. So here now is Stephen Bryan on his backhand, and of course Stokes Valley. They will be part of the Bowls3Five, the televised event again. And they're going to have a pretty good side as well. Look at this bowl here from the skip, Stephen Bryan. That's a counter right in front of the jack.
Yeah, holding 2 now, looks like. Stokes Valley. Yeah, we just had James Cameron Powell and Finbar McGuigan pass our commentary position. I think no doubt to find a spot to watch this final.
Of course, they've got Seamus Curtin will be part of now that he's no longer out of Arilla in Australia, now back based in New Zealand, and will no doubt be part of the Stokes Valley side. So here is Leanne Paulson, 2 down, trying to get to the shot bowl to draw inside that shot bowl. Looks as though it's going to go slightly under the head, and it does. Still 2 to the Stokes Valley combination. So here's now Stephen Bryant on his backhand. And I know Mum and Dad sitting in the Wairarapa certainly be watching this. Follow their boys or their family's progress all the way. Another good bowl here from the Stokes Valley skip.
Don't know if it's quite enough for third. Quite hard to tell from a camera angle, of course, at the back of the rink. But applauded there. Mike Carroll, centre of screen, played with the Bryan brothers, John and Stephen, in recent times. Very much a senior player and mentor at the Stokes Valley Club.
Change of hand from Leanne Paulson onto the backhand. Definitely 2 down, maybe 3. And watching this bowl, this breaks towards it. This is a great effort by Paulson here. 2 down at least, draws the shot on the backhand, draws right alongside the jack.
And grabs it for Papakura. So they take the lead back, 2-1. They lead Stokes Valley after 3 ends of 5. First set here in the Bowls3Five Interclub Cup Final for players with 1 to 5 years of experience, otherwise known as juniors, which can be quite ironic for players a bit more senior of age to be called juniors. And that's how it works in the game of bowls. And it's great to have some of the very best 1 to 5 year players getting an opportunity here on Sky Sport Next and a chance to win the National Interclub Cup title. As first bowl came up short from Adam Bailey, likewise Cherie Bryant. Both have to make adjustments from their first. Adam Bailey playing on his backhand side. Wants it to try and get around those short bowls, and in fact he manages to find a way through the front bowls, and that'll be the shot right on the edge of one of those marking circles. The deepest one of those, 2 metres from the ditch, is where the jack has again been spotted. The mat brought up to the closest possible spot. Cherie Bryant certainly improved her weight second time around as well, and unfortunate not to creep inside the Bailey bowl.
And Leanne Paulson indicating still 1-2 Papakura. There's a fantastic bowl from Leanne Paulson that last end, because may well have been 3 down. So we see now Lee Warburton looked light out of his hand and is going to pull up short, a metre and a bit short. So Stephen Bryant indicating to his brother John, in drawn between Cherie's bowl and the shot bowl. And that'll certainly, it's going to be narrow and short, that bowl.
And one of the rear misses from John Bryan, number 2 for Stokes Valley. He'll no doubt get another opportunity. The second bowl, as Lee Warburton delivers his. Came up short with the first. He got around that short first one. He's going to run into it, promote it. Maybe good enough to creep in for second here. And it is.
It is. It's definitely 2.
Might actually be the shot bowl. So they're holding 2 now. Papakura.
John Bryan, his target is to draw out to that last bowl that we just saw of Lee Warburton. Make sure he's outside, not inside. And he runs into the short bowl, so it will be 2 to Papakura, leading 2-1. As the skips change over to play this on the third of 5 ends in the first set. And indication from Lee Warburton that it was only one, but no, I'm pretty sure it's two.
Yeah, unless those circles aren't accurate.
Certainly.
Assuming they are accurate.
It's pretty clearly two, easily. Leanne Paulson now. Also, of course, a registered horse trainer. Had a winner the other day. He is, don't know where, but had a winner recently. On the backhand. Certainly great. Loves the bowls. Another good bowl from Paulson. Just going to go by.
That should be enough for 3, though.
That would be 3, I would say. It sits directly in behind the jack.
Doesn't look it's too far outside the circle. Of course, the red, the dark red bowls, just the left and short of the jack. That's the closest of the Stokes Valley bowls, one of the Cherie Bryan bowls. That certainly looks like it's the 4th there. So, put pressure on Stokes Valley skip Stephen Bryan here to come up with something to beat those 3 Papakura bowls, or at least one of them.
On the backhand is Stephen Bryan, definitely down. Don't know if he likes that one. Looks to be
narrow.
Narrow, it is certainly narrow and way under the head.
He's going to get some fortune though. He gets a bit of fortune, not quite enough to reduce the count. So Papakura still holding 3 as Leanne Paulson now strides to the mat.
Big end, this one, Brendan, now, isn't it?
Well, that could almost be the first set if Papakura managed to hold on to those 3, take a 5-1 advantage going into the 5th and final end. And unless Stokes Valley gamble and use their power play, that would be unlikely, I'd say, that they'd use the power play. We don't see it much in first sets at all.
Wouldn't think they'd use it as a...
It's obviously an option because you just need the 2 to draw the set, double to 4, of course, on the power play. Leanne Paulson just trying to pile even more pressure on Stokes Valley here. Brilliant first bowl, and she looks like she's in the area again with her second. It just might come up a bit short, but right in the area is again from Leanne Paulson.
The call from John Bryan was that there was no change. That bowl didn't alter.
Yeah, there you can see on screen, just to the right of the jack and short. Extra roll would have been counted, would have been 4.
So change of hand here for the skip. Stephen Bryan
needs something.
Needs to thread the needle a wee bit here. How far is it going to come back on that wide side? Trying to get to the Cherie Bryan bowl, doesn't do so.
So it's 3 to Papakura. I think they'll confirm that shortly, but certainly 1, 2, 3. And let's have a look at the other one. It is 3 confirmed. So Papakura, 5-1. They now lead after 4 ends of 5. First set. Take a big step towards winning that first set. You're obviously looking, Kevin, to see if there was a power play signal.
Well, I was looking at Mike Carroll actually to see whether he was going to signal that, because he'd be it wouldn't be surprised if he was to say, right, let's have a go at this, boys. But no, nothing happened, so we take it that that's not the case. So Adam Bailey playing his first, falls short. So
that means they need a 4 here, Stokes Valley, just to draw the first set and make it a winner-take-all second set. And of course, a 5 to win it.
And that's a good bowl it's a good start from Cherie Bryan. Sits inside the circle, right in front of the jack. It's a good opening bowl. Adam Bailey now.
Well, it gives them a chance, doesn't it, of getting that big number, getting that 4 or getting that 5, because it's an effective bowl. Unfortunately, Adam Bailey's was short, but Cherie Bryan, who struggled to find her range initially. That was a great first up bowl. She can get another one around the head. That will start to put the pressure on Papakura.
Certainly does, and Adam Bailey is going to short again on this. So you're right, Brendan, does put the pressure back on. So here's now Cherie Bryan will play on her backhand. And does put the pressure on, because a 4 creates a tie regardless, doesn't it? So we watch this second bowl. There's another good bowl from Cherie Bryan. And they're coming behind the jack. So
two great bowls from the Stokes Valley lead. And that has made the 4 or the 5 possible here. 2 important bowls coming from Lee Warburton. The Papakura, number 2. Needs something for Leanne Paulson to work with as he's going to run into the short bowls. He promotes one of Adam Bailey's, and so I think it might have actually grabbed the shot. Rather fortuitous there.
Yeah, it was fortuitous because it was quite some distance off target, really. So, no doubt, we'll see John Bryant playing on the attack quickly to get rid of, see if we can dislodge that bowl. And in fact, is just going to knock through one of the Lee Warburton bowl. But they have to attack it to try and get the numbers, Brenton, now that that bowl has gone into the head. That one of Lee Warburton's first bowl where he ran into an Adam Bailey bowl, knocked it into a shot. He's got a better line here, though.
He's chasing this one down as Lee Warburton.
He gets past, he doesn't get past it.
Yeah, doesn't get the fortuitous roll this time round.
Well, there's still a 3-shot chance there on that forehand runner through to the shot bowl. And so John Bryant is certainly endeavouring to play. It goes past the jack and the bowl, so makes it a bit harder for them now. Makes it very hard, in fact. So Leanne Paulson changes over. She's drawn some good shots. Wind down. But now, as we said, Brenton, that fourth end could have been the crunch end, couldn't it, on this first set? With picking up that 3.
Yeah, thanks to Adam Bailey. I think he realised that Lee Warburton was in the way of the camera. Pulled him aside. Very camera focused. Adam Bailey, the lead for Papakura. So now we're able to give you a better sighting of that head. So that bowl that was promoted is the shot bowl for Papakura. Otherwise there are a couple in the area for Stokes Valley. Also another one for Papakura. So it's going to be well short from Leanne Paulson. Be disappointed with that.
Well, I know it's a big if, but you know there is the chance there to play with a lot of weight and get bang onto the 2 bowls, and you could score 4 possibly. Big call, but on the back end we'll see Stephen Bryan play down to those bowls with some weight, and that's exactly what he's doing. You can see if he can get 1, he can get 2, but he'll be on the outside of the. Needs a bit of luck here. Now that negates that shot's gone now. So they could. They can't win this set. Those Stokes Valley supporters very quiet down.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Since Papakura at the front, they've quietened down a bit. They were promising noise. Stokes Valley. But much to Alex Reid's relief, they've been like very quiet.
Alex, yes, he's Alex struggling with the cold down here. He's
not a fan of the crowd noise as well, which is slightly ironic given the
from
Point Chevrolet Pirates.
Yeah, they very, yeah. Well, they are the noise of the Bowls3Five. But a very reserved guy is Alex. Very reserved. So
now, Stephen Bryant, what can he come up with here? Can he turn this into a miracle? Somehow turn it into 4. I don't see how. But he'll give it a go.
Playing with weight again to try and get that result. Goes through that port again.
So he gets rid of possibly what was the second shot. Makes it just 1, but Papakura win the first set, 6-1. And they have one hand on the Interclub Cup title. Trio of Adam Bailey, Lee Warburton and Leanne Paulson have taken down the hometown favourite Stokes Valley Vipers in this opening set, 6-1, and power play called immediately by Papakura. I like it. I love it. This is what we like to see. trying to really capitalise on that early advantage and to take a big step forward in the second set right from the outset. Not afraid of using that power play as an attacking mechanism rather than a defensive one. Pretty much throughout the 2 days here, the power play has been held back to the last couple of ends. But Leanne Paulson knew when to call it because Adam Bailey is right on the money with a toucher first up.
Well, we were told before the game, weren't we, Brendan, that Adam Bailey, very, very good draw player, and he's certainly showing that for sure. And also the thing about calling the power play now, it's also a psychological thing, knowing that they have scored on the last 4 ends, have Papakura, so it puts the pressure straight away onto the Stokes Valley side to score. So a good move by the Leanne Paulson, attacking move, as you and I have been talking about for the last 2 days, of what we've been trying to, really wanting to see how the power play be used. And Papakura has certainly done that as we watch the second bowl of Adam Bailey's just drop into the ditch. So imperative here that Cherie Bryan endeavours to get as close as she can. Looks to be on a good line to the area. This is going to get the jack or just goes through. If it stays up, and it does stay up, that's not all bad. But of course, this could. Papakura scored 2 or 3 on this first end. It certainly gets him away to a great start on the second set with their first set under their belt with a 6-1. And Lee Warburton, it's gone into the ditch.
Oh, leave Stokes Valley to play catch up. Really get a bit tougher. Certainly the pressure will be on. Of course, these are junior players. If you are just joining us, players 1 to 5 years experience.
Good track here from Stephen Bryan. This is close to the shot, this bowl. And wow. It is, sits jack level. That'll be the shot. And the noise from the applause from the Stokes Valley contingent alongside us here, sitting on the little grandstand down here as we see Lee Warburton now. He'll play on his backhand.
Oh, John Bryan says, what pressure? You know, what pressure is there as he plays that shot? Brilliantly done. I was about to say, you know, the junior players haven't had that many high-pressure situations throughout their young careers. But that's a big bowl from John Bryan to grab the shot back for Stokes Valley on the Papakura power play. And likewise for them, if they can kill the Papakura power play, they go a long way to being advantage Stokes Valley in the second set to force a tiebreaker end.
This is turning out to be very interesting because, you know, watch this bowl of
Well, they've only got one bowl on the green, don't they?
That's correct.
Papakura.
And there's the issue, and that's going to stay up as well. Now, if I'm sure with the experience of Leanne Paulson, she'll be quite happy if she can get third shot, because they could sit very vulnerable here in but a moment if Stephen Bryan was to even if he was to drag the jack, because I've got 2 bowls sitting back there. So, and as Brenton rightly said, only 1 bowl on the green at this point for the Papakura side, but I'm sure Leanne Paulson, she's played enough bowls in to know that third shot here would be absolutely fine. So here she is on the backhand, especially with her first bowl. On the backhand is Paulson playing up towards the clubhouse here. Looks to be on a good line. Is it going to get to the jack? It goes past the jack, but will stay up.
Yeah, it's found a good home. It has found a good home because that pretty much takes out that aggressive play now of trying to carry the jack back to those back bowls. There are still a couple behind that for Papakura, but it makes it a lot more difficult.
And just having a look again, it's still, well,
it might be Papakura
it might
holding
well
shot
be Papakura that have actually got the shot.
It's a measure from our viewpoint.
So we'll see now, Stephen Bryan, whether he'll try and push that bowl out or to draw to the jack. Certainly, I think he's going to be short. He's not going to trying to get to that bowl. And that's the shot he's playing, all right, because it's still obviously worth 3 shots.
I think that could also suggest that is the shot bowl.
Absolutely, on the Papakura power play. So
he's trying to get rid of it to make it potentially 3 for Stokes Valley. And he'll get another opportunity. Unless Leanne Polson can change the head here with her second and final bowl of this first end, second set. Papakura took the first set, 6-1.
Certainly a good bowl from Leanne Polson, her first one, which gave them third shot. We're drawing in behind the head. So Leanne Polson looking, going to go to her forehand. Put some more cover around the head. That would be her idea. So here is Leanne Polson of the Papakura Club winning the first set, 6-1. Don't know if that's going to get all the way to where she wants to go. It's going to be outside the Cherie Bryan bowl, so still worth playing for that bowl because it's worth, if he used to say himself, Stephen Bryan could lay 3 shots. So here he is on the backhand, on the search for the bowl. Close is the call I heard from on the green. It is close. It is close. Got the jack. That was desperately
unfortunate.
unlucky.
So unfortunate as the jack just runs into one of the Papakura bowls and stays there. So Papakura, they pick up the shot on their power play. That's doubled to 2. So it's Papakura 2, Stokes Valley 0 after the first end, second set. After Papakura won the first 6-1.
Well, desperately unlucky there was Stephen Bryan because he got the target clean, got that, what was the shot bowl, and it just was, you never know what's going to happen, where bowls are going to go after that, but just ran onto the jack and pushed it directly onto one of the Papakura bowls. Where
and that was that Papakura bowl from Leanne Polson, wasn't it?
Correct.
From the first that we thought could be a factor, and it was. Found a good home.
So another good opening bowl by the young lead, Adam Bailey, just sits alongside the jack. He's put the pressure on from bowl 1. Has Adam Bailey. He's been very, very consistent.
Continuing to play to the 2 metre mark, the longest possible mark, but bringing the mat right the way up.
Good response from Cherie Bryan, just sits inside the circle. That'll be shot. Adam Bailey on this, the second end. Great day for the county centre with the Manuera Cosy Club. Although not winning the national title, have got themselves placed into the televised event. And talking to David Clark about it, Brenton, they're pretty excited about making the TV event, aren't they? That's
absolutely. Sure. He's saying post-match interview how they've all been watching it, in the last couple of years, and now they have to pinch themselves that they're actually going to be a part of it, travelling up State Highway 1.
So this could be a big day for the county centre. And another good bowl here from Cherie Bryan, sitting just down in front of the jack. You can see there's a good counties contingent here as well watching. So Lee Warburton now on his forehand.
Pretty good start from the leads from both Stokes Valley and Papakura. It's now turn of the number 2s. So it's just going to slide by the head, but not in a bad position at all, as we've seen from bowls that are past the head, can certainly come into play. It's currently Stokes Valley holding shot. Cherie Bryan. Now John Bryan, her husband, can he add to the count here?
Daring to get to the Papakura bowl, just going to pull up on weight. Need another yard of weight. So the Leanne Polson's zone to Lee Warburton. Just play up with a yard of weight. You can rest out both of these bowls with ditch weight playing through them. So Warburton will play down on his forehand with that reaching weight, trying to get it onto the shot bowl, and a split onto the second shot. They're going to just go by. A good attempt from the young number 2. It was pretty close to getting the result.
Yeah, not far away. If it sat on that bowl, very well could have grabbed the shot for Papakura. Remains Stokes Valley holding shot though. There's John Bryan with his second. Just going to come up short as well. So unable to improve on the Cherie Bryan bowls is John. Now it's Turn for brother Stephen.
Just
Skip.
makes a different look at that shot now for Leanne Paulson with that bowl of John Bryan just coming down in front of the head. You can't see all the bowl to get down to it now. So but we've certainly seen Leanne Paulson play some very telling bowls in that first set. So we'll see what weight she plays here, going onto her forehand, endeavouring to play the same shot of Lee Warburton, reaching down through the head to get to the what is the shot bowl. Here's Ian Paulson on its way. Lee Warburton's down looking at this bowl. It's going to come back far enough on the line. Great attempt by Paulson. In fact, would be second shot. It is.
Very close to grabbing the shot. It's what Lee Warburton tried to do the first time around, as Mike Kernahan watches on. Of course, vastly experienced blackjack, part of that squad named for the World Championships on the Gold Coast in June, which we hope will now be played at some stage next year. As you can see, it's certainly warming up, much warmer than it was first thing this morning for the opening round when it was, single digits. Now all the players, apart from Leanne Paulson, now just in t-shirts. The hoodie and the beanies come off for Lee Warburton. He's unveiled a spectacular looking rat's tail, which is great to see, is still in use. And has got a very good lid to Adam Bailey as well. So I think certainly got the best haircuts in the competition to Papakura.
So, Alex, if you think this is cold, you wait till you get up through Wairua and all those places you're heading for tomorrow with Erin, and you'll have more than beanies on. And stop for a pie at Wairua. So here is now Leanne Paulson again on that forehand. Very nearly got the shot with her first bowl. And we'll let you know what happens. Looks to be under the head, and it is. In fact, ran into one of the other Stokes Valley bowls. In fact, it was the Cherie Bryan bowl. So did it make two? Yes, it has.
Yes, certainly does look like those two Cherie Bryan bowls. Another shot, so Stokes Valley a chance to answer right back here and level this second set at 2 apiece. Or maybe even take the lead here, because Stephen Bryan will have the final say of the end.
So remembering that Manuela Papakura won the first set. So even though they won't have the last bowl with Stokes Valley, you would think now that this would be an opportune time. They're going to score 2 here.
Yeah, not going to add to the count, unfortunately, but Stokes Valley levelling up the match at 2 apiece after 2 ends, second set.
And of course, remembering that Papakura have used their power play.
Well, it looks like it was the Stokes Valley power play, because it's now reading 4 on the table. So I'll just check that. But yeah, it certainly was. So Stokes Valley answering straight back with the power play of their own. So that was huge for the Vipers. So 4-2 advantage now over Papakura. So they obviously knew it was the power play. We didn't have it communicated to us, unfortunately, but we do know now. So 2 doubled to 4, and they take a 4-2 advantage after 2 ends, second set.
Yeah, big end then for the Stokes Valley side. In fact, as Brenton rightly said, 2 becomes 4. They now jump to 4-2 as we have played 2 of the 5 ends. As Adam Bailey, this very consistent lead for the Papakura side. Just going to go by the jack, but over the head. Cherie Bryan, who's in fact, it was her 2 bowls that were the shots in that last end. She's going to improve on her weight with this bowl. Looks a better weighted bowl as it breaks in towards the jack, and it certainly is a better bowl. It's going to come in behind the jack. That'll be shot. Gets applause from the Stokes Valley supporters here. Adam Bailey following that bowl. That needs a bit of luck. Got a feather, but have to fall in and be 1-2 Stokes Valley. It's on the backhand. There's John Bryan looking at this bowl. It's just going to drop by.
We've been calling for the power plays to be used earlier, and while they weren't used in the first set, using the first 2 ends of the second, so power plays are gone for both Papakura and Stokes Valley.
Well, they're out of the equation now, aren't they? We can. So there, now I see Lee Warburton just going to drop by John Bryan.
It was an all or nothing move, wasn't it, really, by Stokes Valley? They had to stop the rot. I think
Absolutely.
Papakura had won, what, 5 ends in a row.
Absolutely, Brenton.
And needed to come up with something, and they did. So, paid off for them. There's John Bryan. Gets one within a couple of inches.
So this could pressure now just moving back towards Papakura, remembering, of course, that they did win the first set.
Length been changed, of course, by Stokes Valley as well, so completely different. We've pretty much had a steady diet of playing to the 2 metre mark, but they're playing at the shortest possible length, the mat all the way up as well. And
well played by Lee Warburton. That shot, he was down on the head.
Just what Papakura needed. Yes, it got rid of what was there for Stokes Valley to hold shot. Now holding shot himself.
Stephen Bryant will come on his forehand. If he gets a touch on the jack, that's fine, because there's a Cherie Bryan bowl just sitting in behind there. So here is this, looks just question the lines. They're going to get past to the jack. He doesn't got a touch on the bowl. Still we 1-2. Well, looking still 1 to Papakura, Brenton.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. So obviously hard to tell where camera's placed at the back of the rink, some good, what, 10 metres or more away from the spot, which is the shortest possible. So you favour the blue bowl over the dark red bowl of Cherie Bryant. Lee Warburton's bowl, the light blue. But Leanne Paulson had a long look at it, seeing what her options are. I think we may have a further indication exactly who is holding shot with the way Leanne Paulson plays us.
Yeah, the weight will determine, I think, what the thoughts on the shot, on the forehand. There's Leanne Paulson playing her first bowl on this, the third end of 5. Looks to be underweighted. Just going to pull up short, and indicating that it's the one shot to Papakura. And see Stephen Bryan come up, have a look. I just wonder whether he can play with weight and get the split on those, get the split on the bowls. Well played again by...
Just the one indicated, not two?
It was just the one indicated by Lee Warburton, but we look there now, it looks a wee bit different to that as we watched Stephen Bryan trying to get contact onto those front bowls, the counting bowls, and gets through to the jack, and he did.
Perfectly executed.
Well played by this skip
one
for
counting
Stokes
bowl
Valley.
onto the other. And he's now holding a couple. Well done, Stephen Bryan.
2 down was indicated there by Lee Warburton. Just played with good controlled weight. Leanne Paulson coming up to have a look at the head. And because it was a touch-over as well, that bowled of Stephen Bryan ran through onto the jack.
I thought for a moment John Bryan was going to give Lee Warburton and Leanne Paulson a bit of advice about the shot to play, but no, he's just adding the spray to the toucher from his brother Stephen.
So I think we're going to see reaching weight played by Leanne Paulson. Stokes Valley, of course, leading 4-2. As after 2 ends, as we come to the end of the third end, if they were to hold these, there's a nice 2 for them. 6-2 after 3. Leanne Paulson should have something to say about that.
Oh, and they can play with that extra aggression, knowing they've got the first set in the bag.
Absolutely.
So they don't have to play with any conservative, trying to just make sure they win the set. They can play with a bit of freedom, knowing they've got the tiebreaker end as, I suppose, the safety net.
And there it is. Weighted shot, as we spoke about, trying to get through and got one of them.
How is that?
Great attempt.
And it still looks like 1 now, so reduce the count to 1. Great effort by Leanne Poulsen. Stokes Valley, though, a step closer, you'd think, to winning this second set. After 3 ends of 5, they are now leading Papakura 5-2. Of course, Papakura won the first set 6-1.
Of course, no tiebreakers left, so this is really, Brenton, is the big end, isn't it? This could be the really big end, this one.
Yeah, think if Stokes Valley win it, that would be it for Papakura. They'll be thinking about the tiebreaker. But if Papakura win it, even if it is just a 1, 2 would be ideal, but if it's a 1, it's still got an opportunity if they pick up a 2 in the final end. Now, they'd certainly be targeting a multiple, wouldn't they? If they get 2 here, that means that all they have to do is win the final end, because a draw's good enough for them.
Draw's good enough.
Having won the first set. All those permutations will be going through Leanne Poulsen's brain.
Of course, you go in with winning the first set, you go in with 2 lives, really, into the second set, either win it or draw it. So, Cherie Bryan now looks to be a reasonably good line to the bowl, to the jack, and it is, and sits just in behind it. Very good second bowl there from the Stokes Valley lead.
Oh, she's warmed into her work very, very nicely. Here's Cherie Bryan. Struggled rather a bit with her weight early on, but now has been consistently around the head. Not far away here is Adam Bailey. Just going to sit on his first bowl. Just under the line. Not far away from trying the jack back to his first.
So we'll see. John Bryant will play on the backhand, just get a bit of cover in as well. Those Adam Bailey bowls out on the side. And it's over the head. That's a good bowl sitting in behind. Mixes the other 2 bowls up, because we'll see Lee Warburton. He'll now play, obviously, on his backhand to try and either sit on the shot bowl or get a touch on the jack. Leading 5-2, Stokes Valley in the second set after Papakura winning the first set, 6-1. And it's going to be short, that bowl of Lee Warburton. So
he knows what he has to beat for next time. The line wasn't too far off. Just needs to improve that weight.
So on the forehand is John Bryan breaking down towards the head. This is a good bowl from John Bryan. Sits virtually right in front of the jack. In fact, it does sit right in front of the jack. It's putting the pressure on now, Brenton, isn't it?
Oh, certainly is. Needing an absolutely spectacular bowl here from Lee Warburton. Papakura number 2. Try and thread the needle, get to the jack, try and carry it back to one of those Papakura bowls.
This is a great attempt. This bowl just going to sit on.
Yeah, great
what
effort.
Is the shot bowl?
Not far away at all. Centimetres in it, as you can see there. He needed to just get around that shot bowl. Unfortunately for him, just runs into it. Interesting. It might just be 1 now. Stokes Valley are holding, of course.
I would say it'd be just the 1.
Well, just 1 end to play after this. Every shot vital for Stokes Valley. Try and force a tiebreaker end after Papakura won the first set. Of course, just 2 sets in Bowls3Five. If you are new to this format, 5 ends a set. If it's level at a set apiece, we go to a tiebreaker end, and that's another good effort.
Just what we've got to be careful of here, though, at Stokes Valley, is it virtually gives a shoulder now on that hand to Leanne Poulsen, where she can work off the inside of that bowl to get to the jack. Sometimes those jack-level bowls are certainly, they create more danger than advantage, really, because you can use them if you play that yard of weight to get an inside off the bowl, off the jack-level bowl.
Some of the Stokes Valley fans in attendance there, the previous shot, cheering their team on, hoping they're going to be forcing a tiebreaker end in this Bowls3Five Interclub Cup final here at the 9i Bowling Club in Lower Hutt.
So here is Leanne Paulson trying to play that shunt shot onto it. Does that. Well
Wonderfully played. So that was the other option.
Well
Either use
played.
that shoulder or do exactly what she did there and executed superbly.
With 2 shots. Of course, for the Stokes Valley skip, for Stephen Bryant, there's a great chance for him to come down now and play that split onto the bowls, because the 2 bowls sitting close by are that of Cherie Bryans, and that's the shot that he'll endeavour to play down underneath the blue bowl. It's on its way. Looks to be on a pretty decent line.
John
It
Bryan's
depends what sort of feather he gets. And feather away, so not to be.
Oh, big opportunity now for Leanne Paulson. She can make this 3 or maybe even more. Maybe even 4 here.
I'm just questioning why there's no more bowls left, is it? Just the 1 bowl, yeah. So.
And this will bring Papakura right back in. They're holding 2. If she knocks out that dark red bowl, which is sitting in the circle, that sits on that, they'll make it 3. And if she knocks out far enough, it might make it 4.
Leanne Paulson played a very good bowl with her first, no doubt about that, to convert down on the head for sure, and converted it into 2 shots. On the backhand is Leanne Paulson. Holding 2. How's the weight on this one? Not going to get up there.
No, I think she's slightly afraid of doing some damage, but she'll take the 2, and that makes it very interesting going into this 5th and final end. Second set, 5-4 it is now. It's tightened right up. Stokes Valley leading Papakura. Of course, Papakura, they took out the first set 6-1, so a draw for them in the second set will be enough. If they win this 5th and final end second set, that'll be enough for them, because the draw will do.
And we've seen that change of length right to the full length, that Adam Bailey, and he's played a good bowl just in behind the head. Certainly hit the right line, and just a couple of feet in behind the jack. So Cherie Bryan will now play on her backhand. Of course, 1 shot for Papakura, as Brendan said, is enough for shot. This is a good looking bowl here from Cherie Bryan as well. Is it going to get all the way? Yes, it does. A touch-up.
What a response. She's warmed into her work very, very nicely, has Cherie Bryan. That puts the pressure straight back on Papakura.
Leanne Paulson saying to Adam Bailey, make sure you're reaching, trying to get up to the shot bowl. That bowl at Cherie Bryan's looks to be under the head, and it is under the head. So, yeah, so Stephen Bryan saying to his lead, come to the match the bowl in behind the head. That's the first bowl of Adam Bailey's. Just gives a bit of cover over the head. Looks to be going further than that.
Just wanting it to hold up as Stephen Bryan.
It stays up.
Yeah, still in play. Pretty much our graphics score at the bottom screen is pretty much where the ditch is.
Lee Warburton trying to get to what is the shot bowl. Is just going to slip underneath it.
Yeah, fair effort, wasn't far away from disrupting the head again.
So John Bryan now playing his first. You won't want to, doesn't want to fatten that up too much. Yeah, I know they look nice, but it just widens that target for Lee Warburton. 1 bowl target it was. Yeah, two bowl. Of course, the advantage is that Cherie Bryan bowl is a toucher. So we'll see.
Urging it on here. Oh, look at that.
Well
wonderfully executed as he knocks into what was the shot bowl. The jack comes back to the Adam Bailey bowl. And now it's Papakura holding shot. It's been a great contest.
So John Bryan be trying to reach the shot bowl or the jack. It's on a good line to it. Just got to get past to the jack and doesn't do so.
Very close though. Very fair effort that from John Bryan.
So Leanne Paulson having another look at the head. She likes to look at the heads very closely, does Leanne Paulson.
Well, this is an important end, so why not make sure you've got all the scenarios in your head.
So there's only one shot on for Stephen Bryant, and that's they opened the gate up a wee bit for Lee Warburton when they put that second bowl there, Brendan, just took the target from one bowl to, quite a nice juicy target, and Lee Warburton took full advantage of that.
So you expect Leanne Paulson to provide a bit of cover here?
Well, I think they need another bowl on the head in case Stephen Bryan, if it gets in between like second and third shot, I'm sure Leanne Paulson would actually be quite happy because, she won't want to fatten it up too much as well, which is going to give a bigger target, of course, for Stephen Bryan to play at. And I'm just trying to see who's got the backest bowl there. Well, of course, Papakura have got the backest bowl, so the jack in the ditch is not really a good option for the Stokes Valley combination. And remembering
it does
the draw.
depend where the jack goes in the ditch, though, because while they do have the back bowl, it is out wide, as you can see there left of screen, the light blue bowl. So if it spits out to the right-hand side, then you'd favour that dark red bowl of Cherie Bryan. So still a potential option. We'll see what Stephen Bryan plays here.
So here's the skip for Stokes Valley. The stage, Leanne Paulson holding the win and the title. So here is Stephen Bryan trying to get down to what is the shot bowl. He goes by. He was close. That's the sort of weight that he has got to play because there's a good chance.
Get another opportunity too. It wasn't far away from him, very clean on that. Knock away the shot bowl, and then they'd be holding 2, potentially 3, Stokes Valley. Of course, they just want to win the end. So do Papakura. Papakura win the end. They win the match. Stokes Valley win the end. They force a tiebreaker.
Of course, with that weight that Stephen Bryan played, his ball would have continued with it into the ditch as well if he got a toucher onto it. So it's certainly the right weight to play. So Leanne Paulson on the forehand. And Lee Warburton was clapping this bowl straight away. Try and get her all the way down the back, and it is. In fact, it's going to go
too much. So, the ditch.
This is it.
Yeah, if he succeeds with this one, he wasn't far away. Stokes Valley forced a tiebreaker end. Otherwise, Papakura, your Bowls3Five Interclub Cup champions. And here it comes from Stephen Bryan, the Stokes Valley skip. He looks narrow. He's going to come under the line.
He does.
And it's not going to change the count. And Papakura are shaking hands as they are the Bowls3Five Interclub Cup champions. They draw the second set 5-all after winning the first 6-1. So congratulations to the Papakura triple of Adam Bailey, Lee Warburton and Leanne Paulson as they have taken out the Bowls3Five Interclub Cup for players of 1 to 3 years experience, juniors. And what a day for the county's Manukau centre, Kevin Hicklin.
Certainly is. We've seen, because we saw the Manuera side go down in the final to Elmwood Park in the final of the Bowls3Five, but of course they do get a berth into the televised event, and now we've seen Papakura defeat Stokes Valley by drawing that second set. Won the first set, as Brendan said, by 6 shots to 1, and 5-all in the second set. Very impressive Adam Bailey off the front, played exceptionally well right throughout, and Leanne Paulson, when required, certainly played the big bowls, and overall really too strong for the Stokes Valley side here in this final of the Interclub, or the Bowls3Five Cup for the 1 to 5 players. So congratulations to Papakura. Another great day for counties for sure.
So it wasn't to be for the local favourites, the Stokes Valley Vipers. It is Papakura who take out the Bowls3Five Interclub Cup here at the Nine Bowling Club in Lower Hutt. As that concludes our coverage from the Bowls3Five Interclub Finals. If you are just joining us, a reminder that it was the Elmwood Park Saints, who are already in Bowls3Five on Sky Sport in 2020, who took out the Interclub Open Finals. They beat Manirewa 3 matches to 0 in the final, but some consolation for Manirewa. They will be joining Elmwood Park in the Bowls3Five Televised League on Sky Sport starting in October. A big thank you to the team here of Alex and Tamara for all their work over the weekend. And on behalf of Kevin Hicklin, I'm Brenton Vanessaroy, wishing you all a good evening.